I'm not totally sure how it happens, but every year I'm surprised by Rosh Hashanah, as though I haven't looked at the calendar before. Somehow it's almost here all the time, and I'm like, whoa, how did we get here? And the goal is with each year to be a little more intentional and a little more prepared as we head into it. So I thought we could do a little bit of learning this evening ahead of Rosh Hashanah. So there's a text on the screen, and I think it's maybe hard to read, but I can read it, and I will read it for all of us. It says, this comes from the Besht, the Baal Shem Tov in 1794. This comes from him. It's a story that says, a king had an only son, the apple of his eye. The king wanted his son to master different fields of knowledge and to experience various cultures. So he sent him off to a far-off country, supplied with a generous quantity of silver and gold. Far away from home, the son squandered all the money until he was left completely destitute. In his distress, he resolved to return to his father's house, and after much difficulty, he managed to arrive at the gate of the courtyard to his father's palace. In the passage of time, he had actually forgotten the language of his native country, and he was unable to identify himself to the guards. In utter despair, he began to cry out in a loud voice, and the king, who recognized the voice of his son, went out to him and brought him into the house, kissing him and hugging him. I want everyone to turn to someone who's in your general neighborhood, in your seats. Talk about, what is this? What are reactions to this? What do you think this is talking about? What's the lesson here before we talk about it all together? I just heard we figured it out from up here. So Rachel has solved all of the problems of the Jews, and we're all going to go home. Who needs Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, right? We did it already. Any thoughts, anything anybody wants to share? I can repeat it in the mic so everyone can hear and Zoom can hear with us. No, you're getting voluntold here. Bud's pointing to you.
Yeah. Hi, Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova, everyone. I was thinking that the king must be God, and the gifts that we got to go out to the world is our life and what we do with our life and the distractions we might have with our actions and our intentions. And then we forget of what it means to be close to God. And so the whole idea of Rosh Hashanah is about returning to the land of our soul, returning to who we are and to what we are. And so we do that by cracking our hearts wide open.
Wow, Yasher Koach Rabbi. So a bit of a gimme to start with. The king is always God, right? So you get, we all got that one. But a beautiful interpretation that Noam has now layered over this text. Anything else anybody wants to add or share that you chatted about in your little crew? So yes. And there's something very specific here in this story that I think is really beautiful. And I only gave you the first 2 paragraphs. And when the clicker wakes up, there we go. The meaning of the parable. The king is God, Yasher Koach. The prince is the Jewish people who are called children of God. The king sends a soul down to this world in order to fulfill the Torah and mitzvot. However, the soul becomes very distant and forgets everything to which it was accustomed to above. And in the long exile, it forgets even its own language. So it utters a simple cry to its God in heaven. This is the blowing of the shofar, a cry from deep within, expressing regret for the past and determination for the future. This cry elicits God's mercies, and God demonstrates God's abiding affection for God's child and forgives them. There's the noise, that's it. So if we go back and read that last paragraph again, now knowing that that cry is the shofar, in the passage of time, he had actually forgotten the language of his native country, and he was unable to identify himself to the guards. In utter despair, he began to cry out in a loud voice, and the king, who recognized the voice of his son, went out to him and brought him into the house, kissing him and hugging him. He's lost himself and has no words, and so he cries out with what he has, and the king hears him. We lose pieces of ourselves, Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, right? We lose pieces of ourselves all the time. They can get misplaced or buried by other things. And the shofar is our cry out. We don't quite always know what else to say, but the shofar is our voice, and the shofar can say what we can't say, both to God and to ourselves. I once, in one of my student pulpits, I think I was a third-year student maybe, we were studying on shofar in the weeks leading up to Rosh Hashanah, and we were talking about the commandment is to hear the shofar, lishmoa kol shofar. It's to hear it. It's not to see it. And I often find I'm really focused on the face of the shofar blower, right? Their cheeks get red, they puff out, you're watching. It's a funny thing we do. We watch to see when they're going to stop making sound. But it's not the point. We're supposed to hear it. And how distracting is it that we're looking at something else? And so that year for Rosh Hashanah, we hid the shofar blower. We hid them behind the ark. No one could see them, and we just listened to it. And it changed so much of the experience because the idea is that we hear this call, and it wakes us up to ourselves, to God, to whoever we need. And so these are the last few days of our opportunity to really prepare ourselves for that voice of the shofar. What will it call out? What will it unearth in us? What will it wake us up to? And so I'll share a little piece from Rabbi Alan Liu. If you are the kind of person who likes a close your eyes, feet on the floor, hands on your lap kind of quiet moment, you're welcome to. If not, you can read along with me in your mind as I read the screen. Suddenly, you are awakened by a strange noise. A noise that fills the full field of your consciousness and then splits into several jagged strands, shattering that field, shaking you awake. The ram's horn, the shofar, the same instrument that will sound 100 times on Rosh Hashanah, the same sound that filled the world when Torah was spoken into being on Mount Sinai, is being blown to call you to wakefulness. You awake to confusion. Where are you? Who are you? Then you remember, in exactly 1 month, 1 revolution of the moon, you will stand before God. What will God see on that day? What will you see? We have a little less than a month. We have 3 days. But we will stand before God. What will God see on that day? And what will you see?
Joined us at Slichot, this will be familiar, and we want to invite you to join in with us and sing along.
Holy singers too.
Holy singers too. Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go.
Awaken my soul to all its potential. Ladder unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. Come and I go.
Will you join us? Awaken my soul to all its potential. Letter unique
In an infinite soul.
both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. and I go. I come and I go. I come and I go.
Yasher Koach. The book that Jordy mentioned is one of my personal favorites, if anyone's looking for a holiday read. Alan Liu, is that I'm Not Prepared? Or
This is real, and you're completely unprepared.
Unprepared, exactly. This is real, and you're completely unprepared by Alan Liu. If you're able, please rise for the Elenu.